Hey, good evening, everybody. How you all doing? This your boy Chai. Come on, baby. I know. This your boy Rob Thomas Jr. and this is the real news behind the news. Oh yeah, today. Oh y'all forgive me, I'm on the wrong thing. Today is March 27th, 2021, a Saturday, and what we're trying to do is we're gonna recap the news from this week, the headlines that we think you all might want to pay a little attention to because they're eventually going to be very serious issues that we all have to deal with. If y'all give me a second, I'm trying to pull up the YouTube channel. And one reason why I'm late, I apologize again for being late. Let me make sure I ain't got no booger on my nose, man. I feel like I got something on my nose. Y'all give me a, for real. That feels uncomfortable. You ever felt like that? All right, y'all give me a second. We're trying to get it. I think I got it right here, but the internet is running very slow. All right. Yeah, that's it. All right, here we go. How y'all doing this evening? So far we got one person watching. How you doing? Let me put this up here because we definitely need you all to help us out today. We'd like to thank our new subscribers for subscribing to our page. Actually, one of our newest subscribers sent us a little blessing. We appreciate that. I noticed a lot of our subscribers, our faithful subscribers, one who's been with us a long time, like Miss Kimberly, Miss Mary, Miss Humphreys, love you. Quite a few of y'all have come through and blessed us in this channel because y'all believe in what we're doing. Hold on. All right, and as we're doing it, that's our cash app, y'all. As we're doing this video, we're gonna need that. Y'all, we got a serious need. We need to try to raise $80 literally before in the morning. And if you all feel that, but see, anything we ask y'all for, man, it helps this show. It ain't for me personally, to go out and buy no coochie or go to the casino or buy some tennis shoes or shit like that. Anything we ask for, it is directly related to the show. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Let's get off into some of the news. Wait a minute, saying no internet. Okay, let's get off into some of the news that happened this week that just passed that we think are going to be real issues that everybody needs to pay attention to. Let me do this up for you all comment. And please, as we're going through here, please join in and leave the comments, man. The comments make the show go a lot smoother because it actually creates dialogue. So if you're coming in, man, whether you agree with me or disagree with me, the whole objective is please leave a comment so that we can talk about some of these issues. Now, first thing that we're going to talk about is just when you got used to COVID and all the things associated with it, the lockdowns, the mask mandates, the taking away your privacy and your freedoms, just when you got used to COVID, it's coming out now that 23 travelers in the U.S. are being monitored for Ebola. 4 of them in Oregon, the state of Oregon. Yeah, we're going to read this article here because, man, if it ain't one thing, it's another. Man, that's a nasty cigarette there, man. Ooh-wee. I don't know where that can I get that from. But anyway, we're going to talk about this because, like I say, we were just getting, basically accustomed to all the conditions, stimulations, rules, laws, and everything that's been handed over the last year to us due to COVID. Now they're talking about Ebola is on the rise. What happened? Well, let me read the story. And hold on. This story is coming out of the Sacramento Bee. 23 travelers being monitored for Ebola after a trip to Africa. Washington officials say. Washington was considered ground zero for COVID-19 in the U.S., and now 23 travelers from the state are being monitored for another deadly contagious virus, Ebola. The travelers recently returned from the West African countries of Guyana and the Democratic Republic of Congo, where there were outbreaks of the deadly virus, according to a news release from the State Department of Health. The risk of Ebola coming to the United States remains extremely low, according to the news released last month from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Likewise, people in Washington are considered low risk for getting the virus, the state health department said. Then they say that about COVID. Local public health officials, uh, local public health officials have been in contact with people who travel to the African country. They are considered persons under monitoring for 21 days after their arrival to the United States, according to the news release. The Department of Health did not immediately return a request from McClatchy News for more information about where in Washington the travelers are from. Officials at the Tacoma Pierce County Health Department said Friday that they had been alerted of fewer than 5 low-risk people who require monitoring. The CDC ordered airlines to collect and provide contact information for passengers who were in Guyana or the Democratic Republic of Congo within 21 days before arriving to the U.S., according to the release. Ebola cases are rare in the United States. The last confirmed case in the United States came during the 2014 to 16 epidemic in Africa, when 11 people were treated for the deadly virus in the States. Most of the cases involved people who had contracted the virus outside the U.S., but in 2014, 2 nurses were infected while caring for an Ebola patient from Liberia in a Dallas hospital. And that story ends there. Now, we're not trying to, of course, stoke panic, cause mass hysteria, or just, say this to be saying it. But it's a real serious thing because COVID-19 is a very serious issue. And I don't want to talk too deep about it because that got my page blocked, banned for a week, a month ago, if y'all remember. But if there is a plot to use COVID to crack down on your restriction of civil liberties, or use it to monitor and track you more, or basically take away your ability to gather in large numbers. If there is a conspiracy, it's falling apart, So again, here comes the fear mongering. Now they're throwing this potential Ebola situation out there. Now we do know that in Africa, Ebola is on the rise again. They got outbreaks all over Africa of Ebola. We just don't hear about it in the mainstream news. So the reason why I'm talking about it tonight is prepare yourself for whatever may come. Chance always favors those who are prepared. Now, we're not going to say that this is the next big pandemic, but it does have potential to basically be a serious issue. Because Ebola, there's really no cure for Ebola, and Ebola spreads rapidly, just like not probably as rapid as COVID-19, but it spreads rapidly. Man, please stop sending me this chat. Would you go sit down? Go. I can't do nothing for you right now. Go. Man, this dog is very sick. But anyway, we thought you all should know that they're now telling you that there's 23 travelers who are being monitored for Ebola. We don't know if they're going to actually contract the disease or test positive for it, or even if it's something serious enough to even take serious. But it's something that you should be prepared for, because again, if they can't get what they want using COVID-19, what's to say they wouldn't throw something else out there at you? Anyway, we're gonna keep going. And again, if you all come in, I can't really see. Let me see. Here we are right here. Let me see if anybody, leave your comment. Hey, Afro Janko, you're doing a great job. Thank you, my brother. I'm trying my best, man. I'm trying my best. It gets hard. But hey, I got some good news today, and I'm going to share this with you all. Because like right now, I am asking y'all, we do need to make $80 before I go to bed tonight. So if y'all can't hit the cash out. But guess what happened? The day some gentlemen here in Shreveport reached out to me. These brothers here are doing big things. They own quite a few businesses. They got a lot of stuff going on. And a good friend of mine referred me to them. And they reached out today and offered me a job, probably making at least $20 an hour. Because, I got my own LLC. I do home remodeling. Well, since my business is pretty much slowed down to a crawl, I have to humble myself and be willing to do whatever I can legitimately provide for myself. And when these guys reached out to me, it really did my heart some good, man, because I got to get me and these puppies up out of this hotel room. I got to get my life back on track. And a $20 an hour job would be ideal. So y'all pray with me. I think I'm supposed to meet with him either Tuesday. He said either Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. We're going to sit down and talk about it. But I think I got it. They wouldn't have reached out to me like they did, because they kept calling me today. And, I kept missing their call, but when I finally got in touch with them. Yeah, that's what it was. So y'all pray with me. Things are looking up. That's why I say, man, never give up. No matter what you're going through, no matter how hard the struggle is, always do the right thing. It takes a lot to humble, for me, as arrogant as I am, to humble myself, to ask people for shit, or to, basically, it just takes a lot for me to humble myself. And by humbling myself and continue to suffer in the right way, again, by doing that which is right, because plenty of times I could have got out here in these streets, man, and did some dumb shit, you know what I'm saying? And put my freedom, my life, everything in jeopardy. So I did everything the right way, and I think I'm finally being rewarded. I'm going to get this job. I know I am. They look real interested in me. So anyway, that's neither here nor there, but I thought I'd share that with you all. That would be a blessing. And also that will help us to be consistent with this show, because now if I got a viable, consistent source of income, I know every day at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the evening, I'll be able to do a show, as opposed to having to get out here and don't know when I'm going to come back home, because I got to reach a certain goal for that day and I got to make it happen. So again, I thank you all for the support that you all have given me. But this job here will definitely help this show, and most importantly, help me in my personal situation. The fuck is this flying around here, man? Little boy. Child, would you go and sit down? Hold on, y'all. Child, go sit down. For real now. Sit. I can't give you no attention right now. Y'all excuse me, man. She's real sick, man, and she looks to me, to try to heal her. That's part of the reason why we need to make this $80, because we got to get her something. We thought it was ear mites, but it's not, man. Her ear canal is swollen shut. So I got to try to get her to a vet. But somebody recommended this ear infection medication. Shit costs about $30-something, but she's worth it. But anyway, go. When you got to make a choice, the rent or the dog. The rent always comes first. But right now, I got to get her because she's very sick. Anyway. Thank you again, brother Afro J. Jacano, how you pronounce that? Jacano? I'm trying my best, man. I'm trying my best, All right, but anyway, let's get on to another story. Now, we're going to eventually talk about something that's going to throw a lot of people out of whack. We're going to eventually talk about how Mark Rubio and other people with real influence are talking about UFO. Basically, right now they call them unidentified aerial anomalies. They no longer call them UFO. I guess that's a better way of saying UFO without themselves looking at like conspiracy theories. But how can it be conspiracy theories when you have senators, people that's on national intelligence, directed the board of, directors for national intelligence telling us? Because y'all realize now, by June 1st, they passed a law where Congress had, the Pentagon and other entities, government entities in America, they got to release all the information that they have on these unidentified aerial anomalies. Y'all remember about a month back when those pilots from United Airlines experienced something that they couldn't explain? And basically, they could not hide the fact because it was all over the FAA, FCC, all over the airways. But these pilots was like, what the hell is that? Do y'all remember last year when the Pentagon had to release publicly these photos where one of these naval pilots, now keep in mind, these naval pilots aren't conspiracy theorists. They aren't crackpots or people who you can just face off. But you have pilot after pilot now, naval and Air Force pilots, telling you that there's something out there we cannot explain. It's not from the earth. It's not from Earth. Even your Bible tells you, Jesus Christ himself said in the 24th chapter of Matthew, there shall be signs and wonders in the heavens. That should be something we'll talk about tomorrow. Hopefully we can talk about, we can do a show in the morning like we used to do that Sunday morning show where we, you know, talk about theology, religion and stuff like that. But now we're going to go ahead and talk about this. Matter of fact, let me pull these two stories up that I wanted to highlight, because the reason why I'm talking about this is we're being prepared for something. They know something that we don't. You gotta keep in mind, our government, they hold back a whole bunch of information from the people. And they cannot, it's gotten to a point where so many people are seeing things that we can't explain, that the internet is being flooded from all over the world. And these are not Photoshop of attention-seeking people. These are actual events that even your news media have to cover, but they cover it from a point of view of intense and extreme skepticism, where they say, well, we don't know, maybe it's true, maybe it's not. But you can't have your Pentagon and other government officials telling you this shit and there not be some credibility to it. Because again, by June 1st, they have to release all the information that they have gathered over the years about these unidentified aerial anomalies, otherwise what we used to call UFOs. So I want to read through a couple of issues. Y'all gotta forgive me. The internet is running real slow right now because I'm tethering it from my phone. But we're gonna read the statement from Mark Rubio. Y'all know who Mark Rubio is. He's one of the more controversial senators from Florida. He's out of Florida. And this is what Mark Rubio is saying. Let me pull up this story and we're gonna read that. And there's another story from a national intelligence advisor. I mean, he used to be the head of the National Intelligence Agency here in America. He was telling you the same thing. There's shit out there we can't explain as human beings. Now, this comes from Fox News. Keep in mind, even your mainstream media have to start taking this serious and stop trying to, you know what I'm saying, I guess you could say, smear people who are telling them these things. What's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word that I'm looking for. Gaslighting people. Matter of fact, I'm gonna play this for you. I hope y'all can hear this. This is coming from Fox News, and what I'm doing, I'm playing you all an excerpt from Fox News. This is Ratcliffe. He was a former national director of national intelligence, and he's telling you. Hold on a second. Hold on. Give me a second.
Fed and state for free. Guaranteed.
This goddamn commercials. All right, but listen to this. This is the former national director of intelligence.
A little more about that is a man who knows the CCP's motives better than most. He is the former director of national intelligence, John Ratcliffe. John, it is great to see you tonight. Thanks so much for being here.
You bet, Maria.
A lot of conversation about what took place in this first meeting between the U.S. and the Chinese Communist Party leaders. Your reaction to what has taken place?
That's not one.
Well, it's hard to imagine.
I tell you what, we're not going to do that. We're just going to read the article because basically the article, I can read it better than you or Mike can hear. In an unusual airport interview with internet-based tabloid TMZ Monday, Mark Rubio said he wants answers to reports of unidentified flying objects flying over military installations. For me, there's stuff flying over a military installation and no one knows what it is. And it's not ours, Rubio said. If stuff flying over the top of your most sensitive installation and it's not ours and no one knows who it is, you should find out who it is and tell us. The $2.3 trillion appropriation bill signed into law by President Trump in late December did more than provide emergency relief for the economy amid the coronavirus pandemic. It provided funding for the Intelligence Authorization Act of the fiscal year 2021. But apart from financing, intelligence service vital to the U.S. security, it included a section for advanced aerial threats, which calls on the Director of National Intelligence and the Secretary of Defense to create a report analyzing unidentified aerial objects. The security agencies were given 180 days from signing the bill to present their report to Congress on all observed airborne objects that have not been identified, along with what they have been able to discover by working with security experts across military and private sectors. I don't know what the know that there are aliens. I do know that they ever. I don't know that they ever visited here. When you talk about that stuff, everybody gets stigmatized about it, and no one wants to sound weird. Rubio said in response to questioning regarding the U.S. security when it comes to extraterrestrial beings. Now, keep in mind, this is one of your senators saying he's not going. But that's what he's saying. I'm not going to say that there are not extraterrestrial beings visiting the earth, because I don't want to get stigmatized, because people call you crazy when you say this. But he's saying there is something that nobody on the planet can explain. And they are flying over our most sensitive military bases, and people all over the world. Come on, man. Even your Navy, your Pentagon could not hide those videos where these pilots was chasing this unidentified object, and they couldn't believe what they were seeing. You saw the video, you heard what was going on. And since then, the pilot who shot that one video again, where this object went from probably 700 miles per hour to damn near 15,000 miles per hour in a second and just disappeared, he came out basically told you, yeah, there is something out there. And again, these are not crackpots. But let me finish reading this, because I'm getting to a point with all this. Because you cannot sit here and think that no matter what God you believe in, whoever created this, created so many different forms of life on the earth that you would have to be crazy to think that he didn't create life way outside of earth. But people don't want to talk about this because, again, there's a fear of being ostracized and outcast, gaslighted, and painted as a crackpot. When here you are, your government. Why do you think Donald Trump created the Space Force? You got the Army, Air Force, Navy, and Marine. Now you got the Space Force. That Space Force is not just for fight, or just in case Russia launch a nuclear weapon and we're trying to intercept it in space. No, Russia launches a ballistic weapon, or any other country, and a ballistic weapon that goes up out of the atmosphere and comes back down. That's not what it was. It's not some type of defense against a earthly threat. They're seeing shit out there and here on Earth now that they can't explain, and quietly they're trying to prepare themselves just in case these things are hostile. That's what's really going on. Man, what the fuck is that flying around here, man? It's like a gnat or something. But it's actually driving. Y'all excuse me, this shit pisses me off. All right, now, former National Intelligence Director John Ratcliffe has advocated for the report to be made public and told Fox News that there are a lot more sightings than the public is aware of. Now, this is a director of your national intelligence telling you this. And please, as y'all come in, hit that like button, man. Please help us out by hitting that like button and share button. All right, anyway, we think we talk about sightings. When we talk about sightings, we're talking about objects that have been seen by Navy or Air Force pilots, or have been picked up by satellite imagery that frankly engage in actions that are difficult to explain, he continued. Movements that are hard to replicate, that we don't have technology for, or traveling at speeds that exceed the sound barrier without a sonic boom. Then they're going to be in that report. Now, that's just, again, what Mark Rubio is saying. We need answers, man. These things are happening and there's no explanation for them. Well, let me give y'all some real game. If you go to your Bible, do y'all realize that the Bible is telling you in plain and simple words that there are other beings outside of Earth? A lot of times you all call them angels or whatever, but no, you got to go back and really study ancient Mesopotamian, Samaritan writing, the You can go far back and study the earliest religious texts known to man, credibly, they, known to man in the Indian religion. Man, these folks told you, and when you look at even in Egypt, when you look at the most ancient drawings on caves or hieroglyphics from Egypt or whatever, what are they always doing? They're always looking up to beings coming from the sky. Even Jesus Christ himself said, there will be signs and wonders. Let me give you a little real game, real common sense game. Do you all realize if Jesus come back the way that the Bible say he's supposed to come back, he will be considered an extraterrestrial? Literally, that sounds crazy, but it's the truth. And remember when Elijah was supposed to be taken up, what did the writer of that book say? It seemed like chariots of fire came down, picked him up, and took him back into outer space, basically outside of up to heaven. Rather, they took him to heaven. Which, guess what? Heaven is a whole nother universe, basically. So you cannot, just easily dismiss this as just some crackpot lunatic thinking, because if you use common sense, logic, and rational thinking, you have to understand that even angels are extraterrestrial beings because they're coming from another place outside of our universe to visit us. And this is real serious, because if you do believe in ancient prophecies that tell of a time where there's going to be great turmoil upon the earth, all these folks are telling us there will be visitations, there will be signs and wonders in the heavens. And we're seeing this every day. Think about this. If we as human beings can send a rover to Mars and look at the surface of Mars for the first time with a helicopter. We actually now, with that last rover they sent to Mars, do y'all realize they could put a helicopter, a remote control drone helicopter on that fucking rover, and it's scheduled, I think, next week to fly for the first time in the history of mankind. They're finna fly a robot helicopter on Mars. So if we can do that as mankind, what makes you think that there's something else out there that can't come here, or that's not so far in advance? When you have, again, people in your high up intelligence agencies, you have senators now saying that there's shit out there we cannot explain, and we know our enemies don't have this, so it's not of this world. We need to find out what it is. Are they hostile, or are they here on peaceful? But let me give you my thing, because I study this a lot. The sightings and the quote-unquote visitations that Rubio and these other Pentagon officials and everybody telling us intensified after the United States dropped that nuclear bomb, to those two nuclear bombs on Nagasaki and Hiroshima. From that moment on, the reports, the intelligence data, everything shows that from that point on, these type of encounters have also, they multiplied by almost 100%, where even the ordinary citizens are seeing these things. I mean, all you have to do is just go on YouTube. You can see video after video after video of people just in the last 3 months witnessing these unidentified or unexplainable sightings that they're seeing, where they're seeing objects in the sky traveling at a rate of speed so fast you barely can record it. Or they can simply go from just say a 15,000 mile per hour speed and stop and just hover. And then a second later, shoot straight up. These things, hey, Miss Kimberly, how you doing? I'm just here tonight, man, just trying to recap some of the major stories that came up this week that the mainstream media really didn't tell us about. You know, basically one of my more unpopular type shows. And I noticed when I did that last video, where I showed you what a guy here in Freeport shot that 5-year-old child. Well, let me update y'all on that. recently. We're gonna skip subject for a minute. But do you all know I took a lot of heat for my video or my view on it? Like I said, if I had 27, if I had a bag of forks with 27 forks in there, I would not give a fork to him, because not only did he facilitate an altercation that led to a gun being fired. When that gun was fired, it hit a 5-year-old child in the head, and that child died. I think it was Wednesday morning of this week. A 5-year-old girl passed away. Now, if this guy, like I said, if he was so serious and sincere and so full of remorse, why did they have to come way to Longview, Texas and find you hiding in a hotel? You would get on Facebook and make this quote unquote passionate apology. And I can't judge the man's heart. Maybe he was really sorry, truly sorry. But what good is they going to do to family? They had to bury that little 5-year-old girl this weekend. We're getting tired of seeing all this violence, man, in our community. And then when you have people like this, man, who basically, really, in my opinion, he must have been kind of slow. He must have been one of them cats that when he was at school, while everybody else had 6 classes and they had to change classes every hour, he sat in that one classroom and drawed all day. He got to be slow, bro. Because first and foremost, you just got out of prison on a 10-year sentence for a convicted felon with a firearm. You come back and you admit to having a firearm in your possession and being around your girlfriend who had a firearm in her possession. So that's a felony right there. Then you go on to admit that you were driving because y'all was out all day looking for the guy you alleged stole your girlfriend's gun. So you out driving right now with something on your mind while in possession illegally of a firearm. You see the guy, you think you see the guy as you passing by the Super 8. You stop, you back up, you see the guy, you get out the car with your weapon and proceed to facilitate an altercation. And in the course of that altercation, felt threatened. Y'all give me a second. Give me a second. Let me decline this. All right. Ms. Humphreys, that's if you can give me check this out. I'll give you a call back later. That's another one of our subscribers who supports the channel here. But hey, Kel Harris, thank you for your reporting and honest opinion. That's all I can do. Because all I'm trying to do is not convict Ms. Harris. I'm not trying Mr. or Mrs. Harris, I can't tell by the name, first name, but I'll just say to Ms. Kel Harris, all I can do is put out there the information that anybody can find, but most people are not looking for. Because again, we are a society that would rather be entertained than informed. That's why your new mainstream news media, they like to show you the violence and all this shit without really talking about the underlying issue of why these things are happening. So I can't say that I'm right all the time, but what I'm trying to do is plant seeds of questions, you know, in your head. And as you think about them, you're putting the water on, and then from there, truth can grow. Flowers of truth can, you know what I'm saying? Again, my job is not to report the news because I'm not a reporter. I consider myself as an analyst of the news. But my whole thing is to give you a different point of view of taking what you're being told by these people who we know are liars. But guess what? Fox, ABC, CBS, CNN, Bloomberg, MSNBC, all these people cannot really tell you the truth because they are sponsored by corporate sponsors who literally have an agenda and a point of view that they got to put out. So the truth is sacrificed when you listen to these people. on the mainstream media, because they can't tell you the truth, because they have to tell you what their corporate sponsors want them to tell you. You know, the biggest sponsors are all the people in your corporate media, military industrial complex, the pharmaceutical complex, the banking industry. All three of these that I just mentioned are corrupt entities who have been proven to not even give a crap about you and I, because they sell us dangerous pharmaceutical products. They're constantly lying to us and sending our children overseas to these illegal wars, and they're steadily robbing you through your financial system. So they can't tell you the truth on the mainstream media. So again, I always say the mainstream media job is to fuck you and get you pregnant with their propaganda. My job is to be the condom to keep you from getting pregnant by their propaganda. And again, I can't say everything that I say is true, but there's 90% truth in everything that I say. And all I want people to do is just think a little bit different than what they're telling us, you know? So that's why I report the way I report and do what I do. Again, I'm not a reporter. I'm just a person who asks questions. One of the most important things we can do, and John F. Kennedy told us in the speech that really one of the speeches that got him killed, you have an obligation as American citizens to ask questions of your government and everything that you're being told by the media, because your media is controlled by your government. Under Operation Mockingbird, we're going to do a show about that. Under Operation Mockingbird, your government basically took over your whole media, industrial media, the corporate media complex, and used that media to spread propaganda. You think that sounds crazy? Shit, they do it overseas in all these communist countries. They've been doing it for years. They control what you see and what you hear. But here in America, you think we got somewhat the illusion of freedom that you can't be lied to. And that's what we do here at the Real News Behind News. And that's what I realized. I got people right now, after I mentioned it, that come up and tell me, man, I don't even watch the mainstream media no more. But you got to start doing these shows, man, because I've been looking for you to tell me. And I'm like, God damn, I didn't realize when I started this thing that it would be that important to other people. So this is why I be feeling bad when I can't be consistent with my show. And please, there's 7 of y'all here. The numbers going up and down. A lot of people don't really want to hear a lot of stuff I talk about. Because again, I'm not telling you about how Cardi B and Candace Owens is beefing now. Candace Owens. I'm not telling you about how LeBron James hurt his ankle and all that. And I ain't got nothing against people who do those type of videos and make thousands of dollars a day, because they got 50, 60,000, some cases 100,000 people watching their videos because they're entertaining you. That shit is not real new. Okay, we in here. What's up, Akeem the Great? Glad you could join us, man. Y'all here, man. Hit that like button for me. Also, again, I'm gonna say this again. Right now, we do have a goal we need to reach, man. If we can get 10 people to donate $8, or we can get 8 people to donate $10. Either way it go, there's a goal we need to reach. But again, I'm not gonna worry about that. If you all can bless us, man, please hit the cash up. But again, let me go to we were talking about King the Great, these unidentified aerial anomalies. People, we used to call them UFOs. Notice they even changed the description now to make it sound more technical, so that when they talk about it, they won't be discredited. You see what I'm saying? If your government official are on the slick saying there's some shit out here, we need to find out what, they're afraid of something. They're not trying to put it all out there and create mass panic, but they are afraid of something. Because again, let's go back to this other article. Let's go to the actual article where the National Intelligence Director made his statement, and this is coming from the Daily Mail. Y'all give me a second. So if y'all can, if you all here again, hit that like button, hit the share button. Most important, tonight is one of them nights. Ooh, that water, that went down the wrong way. That we really need y'all to hit that cash out. We need to make $80 before in the morning. All right, this comes from the Daily Mail. Let me read this for y'all. The U.S. has secret evidence of UFOs breaking sound barrier without a sonic boom and performing moves humans don't have the technology for, says Trump, Director of National Intelligence. The U.S. The revelations increase. The U.S. has evidence of UFOs breaking the sound barrier without a sonic boom and making maneuvers impossible with known technology, the former Director of National Intelligence has revealed. The revelations increased excitement about a forthcoming report detailing what the U.S. government has observed. And you keep in mind, they have to release this report by June 1st. This is mandated under their last in the last stimulus package that Trump helped drew up. Yeah, Trump knew this shit. He wanted to say something, but he was told not to. This is why, again, Trump created the Space Force. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, now Space Force. That shit was created for a reason, y'all. They're telling you this. Y'all gonna know this. Maybe it might be months, weeks, months, or even years from now. But y'all gonna remember me being one of the people, especially in the black community, because black people not gonna talk about no shit like this. I mean, you got all these black YouTubers that'll tell you who's screwing who in Hollywood and all this other tabloid type information, but this is a subject none of them would talk about because it don't get likes. It don't get them revenue on their YouTube channel because ain't too many people want to hear this. But you're going to eventually. They're not allowing this shit to be leaked out or even talked about. Because again, Fox News just had Mark Rubio, a senator from Florida, very credible person, on well, it came from TMZ, but they actually had to admit this shit is real, y'all. And again, we on the forefront at the Real News Behind News, but we telling you some shit that's way ahead of your time. All right. John Ratcliffe, who served as Donald Trump's National Director of National Intelligence, said that many of the incidents still have no easy explanation. There are a lot more sightings that have been made public, Ratcliffe told Fox News. Some of those have been declassified. Like the ones, again, where I told you those they showed the ones where those pilots was chasing this object, and that motherfucker went from like 500 miles per hour to it had to be at least 15,000 miles per hour in less than a second because it appeared damn near 1,000 miles later on another radar. So again, and when you talk about sightings, we're talking about objects that have been seen by Navy or Air Force pilots, or have been picked up by satellite imagery that frankly engage in actions that are difficult to explain. Movements that are hard to replicate, that we don't have the technology for, are traveling at speed that exceeds the sound barrier without a sonic boom. And they're going to end this story right there. Okay, here we go. Ratcliffe told the host of Fox News that the sightings of unidentified aerial phenomena has been observed all around the world. When we talk about sightings, the other thing I would tell you is it's not just a pilot or just a satellite or some intelligence collection, Ratcliffe said. Usually we have multiple sensors that are picking these things up, and some of these are unexplained phenomena, and there's actually quite few more that have been made public. The government was in December given a 180-day deadline to disclose what it knew, meaning that the report should be out before June 1st. Ratcliffe said he had hoped to publish their findings before he left office in January. But we aren't able to get it down to an unclassified format quickly enough, he said. The report was part of a $2.3 trillion COVID relief bill. Why do you think they put this shit off in the COVID relief bill? If they can't do what these objects are doing, what makes them believe they can wage war with them if they're hostile? Hey, Mike, let me show you something. There's this one movie called Battleship. Y'all go back and watch it. Well, Homeboy made a point that was so fucking profound that it stick with me to the day. He said, well, if the aliens do visit the Earth, it would literally be like Columbus visiting the Indians all over again. Only this time, human beings would be the Indians. Meaning that if these folks could master these things that this man is talking about, the maneuvers that they're making, if they can master time travel, because first and foremost, they're coming from distances that are supposed to be light years away. If they can come from where they are to the Earth, that means these motherfuckers are already millions of years, way more advanced than we are. For real. For them to come from wherever they at to the earth, we barely can get something out there. As far as we can really get as human beings is to the International Space Station or to the moon. But these things are coming from light years, millions and thousands and millions of light years away to the earth with a technology that we can't explain here on earth. So there's no way, Mike, they can wage war against something you can't even explain what it is. If they hear, they already know how fucked up we are as human beings. We don't even have a clue what they are or what they're capable of. All we can see is that if they did start a war, we don't have any kind of aircraft on the earth that can compete with them. We do know that for a fact. You're right about that, Mike. We don't have nothing on earth that can travel, in a linear manner, and then all of a sudden at the drop of a dime go perpendicular, you know what I'm saying, or change direction, go from a straight line to a 90-degree angle at a speed of damn near 20,000 miles per hour. We don't have nothing on earth that can duplicate or even explain that shit. So yeah, if they are here, there's no way the fuck we can wage war against them, man. It's a losing battle. So we pray that they're peaceful. But again, when I used to talk about this, man, before I even started studying, I used to just question it. Only beings are here. But again, go back throughout your Bible, even your Bible and other religious texts tells you, in story after story, that the earth has been visited, has been visited. You know what I'm saying? Countless of times. The story of Elijah, Genesis chapter 6, verses 1 through 1 through 6. You know what I'm saying? Even your story of God, because like I say, no matter who your God is, he does not live here on the earth. He is an extraterrestrial being. Your angels that you all say come from heaven and answer your prayers, they are extraterrestrial beings. By name, by definition. Literally, you cannot, there's only one way you can explain it. They're coming from heaven. If they're coming from heaven to earth, those are extraterrestrial beings, y'all. Whether you want to accept that shit or not, you have to accept the reality. If Jesus comes back, like they say, he's supposed to come back standing on the cloud, that's some extraterrestrial type shit, don't you think? So we have to be adults about this shit and start talking about it instead of trying to call people crazy for believing it. Because in Hebrews 11, I think, chapter 11, then it says to the God who created worlds, plural. Yeah. You can't argue with your Bible if you're a Christian. So I use your Bible on you to get you to think a little bit different. Let me go and finish this report, this story here. The report produced by the Pentagon and Intelligence Agency must identify, among other things, any threat posed by unidentified aerial phenomena and whether they may be attributed to foreign adversaries. Can't really be Russia because Russia is trying to research and figure out the same shit. China is also. Sometimes we wonder whether or not our adversaries have technologies that are a little bit further down the road than we thought or than we realized. But there are instances where we don't have good explanations for some of the things that we have seen. Like basically what he's saying, we know that China has a new missile that we cannot fucking shoot down. We can't even track it. It is so fast. Russia and China have basically outpaced us in the weapons war. So we do know that some of the stuff that they're seeing are basically weapons tests. I say only 1% of that is the case, though. There's other shit that they're seeing, man, is something that nobody on earth, United States, Russia, China, any other your military power, they can't explain this shit. And this is the reason why they're panicking, and they're actually panicking publicly for the first time. The Defense Department announced in September the creation of an unidentified aerial phenomenon task force on August 4th. Videos from the Navy were released last year through the Freedom of Information Act that showed UFOs moving at incredible speeds to perform a seemingly impossible aerial maneuver. Again, that's why I just said that. One of the videos was shot in November 2004, and the other two were shot in January 2015. The three videos were codenamed FLIR1, Gamble, and Go Fast. In the 2015 videos, Navy pilots can be heard expressing disbelief. All three UFO videos were captured by Navy FA-18 Super Hornets, some of the fastest planes on the planet. And guess what he said? Guess what the article say? They driving some of the most advanced technology on the planet, planes that can reach Mach speeds of Mach 1, Mach 2, over 1,000 miles per hour. And they were shocked. The pilots were fucking shocked at what they were seeing. Y'all want to see one of the pilots who since then retired? Go to Joe Rogan. I forget the pilot's name. If you can find that one Joe Rogan episode, he was on Joe Rogan's podcast. And he just let the shit out the bag and told you, man, you got to be fucking crazy not to believe that there's something else out there. Because I experienced this with my own eyes. Who is he? He's only one of the top-ranking naval pilots and the most accomplished naval pilots in history. Not no crackpot, but somebody who actually witnessed this shit. And you can hear him on that video. He was shocked at what the fuck he was seeing. But anyway, Ratcliffe said it would be healthy for as much as information as possible to be made public. A week before Ratcliffe stepped down in January, CIA released a treasure trove of newly unsealed records. They showed chilling accounts of hundreds of UFO sightings across the globe dating back to the 50s, along with international intelligence community effort to understand them. A dossier with nearly 3,000 pages of documents about unidentified aerial phenomena. The government official term for what they are commonly called UFOs was published on the Black Vault website. Thousands of paranormal enthusiasts poured through the collection of more than 700 individual documents, according to Black Vault founder John Greenwald. Anyway, this article is about to end, but y'all got the gist of it. I'm finna post the link to this I'm gonna post a link to this video real quick. I want you all to check this out. I can't share it right now. Can I get the link address? Y'all give me a second. I'm trying to share this link. And this is one of the videos. Well, I'll tell you what, I just share this page. And as y'all go down to it, I'm going to share the link to this page. And as y'all go down in the description section, you'll be able to, it's not letting me save, where was I going to save this? All right, hold on, y'all give me a second. I'm going to send this article. I'm going to post it into the, all right, here we go. And we're going to go forward. I don't want to hold y'all up too much. All right, I'm going to post the link. What's up, Brother Anthony? How you doing? I'm going to post a link to this article, and then you all can see the videos for yourself. There's the link right there. So y'all click on that link right there. It'll take you to this video where this pilot was basically shocked at what he was seeing. Now, we're going to go forward with the news, but we're going to spend a little bit more time on this subject because it's a subject that, whether you like it or not, call me crazy or what, you're going to have to deal with this subject. We all going to have to deal with it. Because guess what? Your motherfucking military, political, intelligence, all your leaders, man, we got to figure this shit out. We don't know what's going on. So if they got to deal with it, how much longer do you think it is before us, the public, who they've been lying to all this time about these things, they can't lie to us no more because everybody got a cell phone. And everybody more than me believe this shit, but a lot more people are actually capturing video evidence of these events and these sightings. So yeah, it's going to get crazy, y'all, because again, if your president created a whole space force, that shit ain't got nothing to do with nothing on Earth. Think about it. Why do we create anything that we deal with on Earth? We got Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marine. But it's something coming back and forth to the Earth that they can't explain. It has me scared, y'all. So conspiracy theory, call me conspiracy theory you want. Truth is what it is. Hey, but brother Mike, I gotta call. You gotta call. I gotta call you, man. You need to sit down and talk, bro. We ain't talking in a while. I really value your opinion on a lot of stuff, man. So I'll give you a call a little bit later on tonight after this show. Yeah, give me a little bit, man. I'm getting ready to end this show. Y'all see the big old ass ship that's stuck over in the Suez Canal? They said, man, that's that one ship. Believe it or not, you'd be surprised how that one ship can cause big ass disruption in the world economy. So as it was, they have old wall painting on these buildings. So, and that's what I said earlier, brother. I mean, we should have been talking about God and all this, but when you go back and look at your ancient hieroglyphics, your most ancient drawings and writings since the beginning of mankind, they were always looking up to beings coming from the sky. This is where you get your term, your whole idea and ideology of God, because something was coming back and forth from the sky. No, that shit ain't just written on those walls 20,000 years ago for nothing. Where these people showing you, they looking up and these things that look like space. Do y'all realize that one picture of a lot of your classic art, shit like Michelangelo, shit like that, all these pictures, or even in your hieroglyphics, they're showing you beings. Even go to look at some of the Roman Catholic Church artwork, and in all of their artwork, they're showing you on the cool, real in the background, like you gotta pay attention, but they're showing you extraterrestrial spaceships. Believe it or not, like all these pictures where they show you Jesus, God touching man's hand and all that shit in the background, they're showing you spaceships, bro. Literally. Nobody ever took the time. When I started research, that shit blew my mind. It's like, how come nobody else is paying attention to it? But anyway, let's go. Y'all pray for us down here in the South. We had a recent rash of tornadoes that has basically, killed 5 people in Mississippi and Mexico. I mean, Mexico, Mississippi and Alabama. I'm trying to find a couple of more stories, man, that I read, but I don't see them right now. And I don't want to hold y'all up. Anyway, I couldn't go and target this extremist. Oh, let's go back to talk about the shooting in Colorado. Why is it that out of all these people that have been doing these mass shootings, think about this now. When they get arrested, one of the first things they're going to tell you, they were on the FBI or Department of Homeland Security watching it. Meaning that they knew these people were capable of doing these things. They were tapping their phones and shit. That's why homeboy said, the one who shot the recent shooter in Colorado was saying that he tired of these people tapping my phone. He wasn't bullshitting. They actually pushed him over the edge. And in a lot of cases, your use of technology is getting point. Thanks for that link. You're welcome. That's why, again, hey, Kel Harris, that's one reason why I really be asking for some of these donations. Because, like I said, right now, I got to pay a phone bill. I got to try to keep the internet going. And when I do have these things on point, I can do shit like that while I'm doing these videos. It's put the link up. Or, you know what I'm saying, add stuff on the fly. Because, like right now, I'm able to tether my phone into my computer and use my phone as my Wi-Fi portal. So, I've been studying technology and stuff, but I'm trying to make this show as best as possible. And again, I don't really make a habit of asking out my subscribers for donations, but shit, when you need it, you need it. Shit, Pastor ain't got no problem tomorrow morning. Guess what? Jesus gonna need some money again. I'm like, goddamn, is Jesus on drugs or is God on drugs in the Christian church? Because this motherfucker is broke every Sunday. But people have no problem giving to the church when they say the church we give our tithe and offering to take care of the business of the church. Well, shit, I didn't need tithe and offering so I can help make this show better. like you say, I use the technology. Have you seen all the nice exhibits? I'm serious, Kel Harris. Anybody that know me know I get out there in the streets, man, and hustle. I work my ass off. And again, I'm thanking God for this opportunity. $20 an hour job just don't come too often. Even though I have my own LLC, shit ain't working for me. And God has blessed me by being patient, doing the right thing. Because in the past, I'd have got out there and flip the pack like an acrobat. but I ain't trying to do that shit. Back to the mass shooting. Wow, you said that like, okay, Nick, that's enough. All right, you're right. Let's get back to the mass shooting. First of all, let me ask you a question. What do all the mass shootings in the last 40 years pretty much have in common? There's one thing in common. I seen it on the video last. Anybody that answer that question right now, I'll give you a pack of strawberry and a pack of banana now, ladies. Mix them together. That shit's awesome. But what do all the mass shootings have in common? Outside they use weapons. I'll give up. They were on antidepressants. They were either on or detoxing from antidepressants. What is the number one side effect from antidepressants? Violent or suicidal behavior. Now you have to go back again and look at how the CIA actually operates a lot of their covert domestic actions. But when I say this, it's gonna sound crazy, but it's factual. You study it. In the CIA, on the CIA payroll, of course, they have your mainstream media, but they have doctors, they have lawyers, they have police officers, they have psychiatrists, they have all these people on their payroll. You say white people, now white people, because shit, I'm gonna be real. A lot of niggas do mass shootings too, y'all, believe it or not. Did you see what happened up there in Chicago the other day, last week? Where 12 people got shot? Dallas, they shooting in the mall, 5, 6 people. It ain't just white people that's doing this shit, but it's people with mental illness. But in these cases here, I believe that these people were being psychologically, in some kind of psychological care, under some kind of clinical care. And the people who were caring for them basically manipulated them in their thoughts. They're already taking psychiatric type drugs, alters your mind. And they use these situations to push people. Think about this. How is it that the same gun that this guy, how did he get his hands on an AR-15 or that type of rifle anyway, when it was known that he had mental illness? How was he able to get his hand on that gun? And keep in mind, that gun had been banned in the state of Colorado, but the NRA had got that ban overturned. And the day after, it's the record showing, the day after that ban was overturned, allowing AR-15 and other assault rifles to be sold, he got his weapon the day after the ban was lifted. Now you got to keep in mind, our government does not mind sacrificing people to get an agenda passed. What they will do is go out and create one of these false flags where people are actually murdered. They will facilitate the false flag after the people are murdered and all said and done. The first thing they're going to do is tie it to gun control. That's what they do. That's literally what they do. They have to keep you basically. What they have to do, they have to manufacture consent. Y'all, let me talk about this a lot. But in manufacturing consent, they have to stage an event that is so profound that now they can use that event to manipulate the people to the direction that they want them to go. See, they realize under the Constitution, they just can't take away your weapons like that. But if they keep facilitating so many of these false flags where thousands of people are being murdered, and it's showing on TV, it's so horrible in traffic, they ain't got to take your shit away by force. You're going to be willing to give your shit away. And who was it? Not Thomas Jefferson, but who was it? I think it was Benjamin Franklin. And one of those guys back then said, any motherfucker that's willing to give up his security for freedom does not deserve either security or freedom. Because again, what they're doing is they are creating a situation, and then they're selling you the answer for the situation. You have to go back and look at false flag, Operation Northwoods, all these false flags that have been declassified. You know what I'm saying? And you will see that what I'm saying is fucking, I'm talking about, it is literally a fact. It's not only possible, this shit is how your government works. They'll blow some shit up here in America, like the Twin Towers, World Trade Center. They ran those planes into those buildings, man, themselves, to create the Department of Homeland Security, to create another fake war in Afghanistan and facilitate and go back in Iraq. Your government is responsible for this shit, man. Ain't no motherfucking terrorists came from Saudi Arabia just to blow up them two buildings, man. No. And again, I always ask this question. If the people who ran those buildings, those planes into those buildings, there were 19 of them. If 17 of those 19 were from Saudi Arabia, why not go and start a war with Saudi Arabia? Why go and attack Afghanistan? Because they told you Afghanistan was the source. No, it wasn't the motherfucking source. It was the guys from the terrorists, so-called terrorists, who were from Saudi Arabia. But you attacked Afghanistan to get the opium and something that's coming out now. Remember I told y'all this about that pipeline, the Russian Nord Stream pipeline that was coming from Russia? Because what it is, Russia at that time was building a pipeline to sell their oil. And the pipeline was going to go from Russia to Afghanistan and come through Eastern Europe. And the European nations were going to be buying all their oil from Russia, as opposed to buying their oil from, I really feel some type of way. Anyway, I'm going to talk about that. But they, instead of buying their oil from the United States and its proxies, like Saudi Arabia or other countries that they steal oil from. And the Russians, again, were going to put that pipeline. So they needed to go into Afghanistan real bad. Because you got to keep in mind, Russia had just left Afghanistan. You know what I'm saying? The Taliban had basically outlawed or took the world's opium supply down to basically zero. So they had to get their hands on that opium for your pharmaceutical company. They had to get their hands, basically shut down that pipe. So best way to do it, we'll kill a whole bunch of people here in America and tell them that the folks in Afghanistan did shit. Come on. Because again, if you're hijacking from Saudi Arabia, why didn't you go over there and bomb the shit out of Saudi Arabia? Why did you go straight to Afghanistan and Iraq? Because you needed to get Saddam Hussein out the way, because he was taking his country's oil off the petrodollar. He was in the United Nations at that time petitioning to have his oil sold to the Europeans for the euro. So we'll kill two birds with one stone. We'll run this plane into these buildings. That'll get the people all patriotic and mad here in America. It will manufacture the consent we need to start a war with Afghanistan and facilitate a new war in Iraq. Y'all see how the game go? That's just how the fucking game go. They don't mind killing you and I in order to further an agenda, man. And that's what you call manufacturing consent. And we've been going along for an hour now, man. If y'all got some more comments, shit, we'll keep going. Let me go back and read all the comments. Kel Harris say those white people. Yeah. But guess what? The defense secretary is a black guy right now. We hollered and screamed when they say Joe Biden has announced the first defense secretary of defense, a black man. Don't realize that this black man has killed more people during his time in the military than motherfucking Ebola, AIDS, herpes, COVID, and all that shit put together. This black dude is a warmonger. He sits on the board of 2 or 3 motherfucking military weapons producers right now. He was responsible for a lot of the military, I guess you could say, invasions, illegal occupations of other countries in the last 20 years. Yeah, so they put a black man right there to make it seem less graceful to go over there and kill motherfucking black people in Africa. Everybody talk about the wars in Afghanistan, Iraq, and all these other places. Nobody's talking about what the United States is fucking doing in Africa. There's going to be a special show we got to do on that. Because think about it. They're talking about the longest war that the United States has ever been in is Afghanistan. Shit, we still ain't left Somalia. Oh, we forgot about Somalia. Hey, everybody forgot about Somalia. Yeah, motherfucking the military. We have troops still stationed over there. We're still supplying the Somali people, government. We supply both sides in a lot of cases in Africa with weapons for them to kill each other, while at the same time, major United States corporations are stealing the resources. That's what it's all about. Our army is nothing more than a bunch of fucking kickdoor men. The average soldier is just doing his job, but they don't realize they're being used by a corporate entity to go over there and be the motherfucking henchmen for the corporation to steal these folks' natural resources. I can show you pictures right now where if the United States was so concerned about the heroin trade, the opioid crisis, why the fuck are the soldiers over there guarding the opium as opposed to destroying it? I always ask questions, y'all. Man, we don't get ready to end the show. We're going to come back and do it tomorrow. Unless y'all want me to keep going, y'all got something to talk about. Other than that, let me see. Hold on. Okay. The Democrats are trying to push for a war against Venezuela. Y'all watch. Venezuela is going to be the next hot spot in the world. They're finna get you pushed up because you already want to know something. Let me ask y'all another question. Why does the United States feel that they have to go to war with Venezuela? What's so special about Venezuela that makes them the one target right now that they got to overthrow and conquer? But the only reason why they can't do it right now is because Venezuela is being protected by the Russians and the Chinese. What is that one reason, y'all, why they finna put more and more sanctions on Venezuela? And you're going to be hearing more and more about Venezuela in the next few weeks. I guarantee you. Y'all going to remember this in the next few weeks. Y'all going to be hearing more and more about Venezuela and the need to crack down on Venezuela. Venezuela is doing all this shit and causing humanitarian crisis. When you read out it, they got sanctions on Venezuela that's strangling the life out. But what is it? The reason why they're going hard for Venezuela. You gotta realize Venezuela has the largest oil reserves in the entire world. No other country comes close to the amount of oil that Venezuela has. They want that oil. So Venezuela is going to be the next war that they're going to send your kids to. They're going to create a false flag to get us into Venezuela. Mark my words. I'm going to see something else. Silicon Valley, Newsom. Y'all see where they trying to get rid of the governor of California? Man, it's a lot of stuff I would like to talk about. I just really don't have time. But again, there's one restaurant said it won't serve people who stink of marijuana. You should be one of them motherfuckers that smell like marijuana because that means he's hungry as fuck. I never understand some people the way they think. That's like I was talking about reparations. Think about it again. The way I look at it, if the government was real motherfucking smart, they would give black people reparations. They should give us all black people a $50,000 check a piece. You wanna know why? Because they're gonna get that shit right back within 2 weeks. For most black people are so materialistic, they're gonna spend that shit up. You know what I'm saying? We gonna hear somebody say, how much you put back for your kids' education? BESEC. I have to check that out. What about the Board of Elementary and Secondary Education there in Shreveport? It's fucked, but what about it? BESC? I haven't really been in touch with it lately, man, because I had other issues, but I have been hearing some things about changes in the way the system, educational system here in Shreveport is ran. But either way it goes, it's gonna be fucked up because until you get all these motherfucking people in the administrative part of the Caddo Parish School Board, because here in Shreveport we under Caddo Parish runs school system. Until you get all these motherfuckers out there making it $200,000-$300,000 a year, ain't shit finna happen for our kids. Nothing finna happen for our kids here in Shreveport. The Board of Elementary and Secondary Education there in Shreveport. Either way it go, it's fucked because again, you have so many administrators making salaries that are so fucking exorbitant that they don't even have money to put motherfucking give children books to take home to study their lessons, to do the homework and shit. In the black. Yeah, the lawyers here in Freeport make more money than anything. Anybody. They are the biggest. They got the biggest income here in Freeport because you got to realize your lawyers are involved in every contract, a city contract, whether it be construction or whatever. They help in 501c3. Your lawyers are responsible for a lot of litigation, civilly, commercially. Here in Freeport, your lawyers are making a killing here in Freeport, man. Your lawyers are probably the richest people in Freeport right now. And it's crazy. That's another whole entire show. But again, back to the education part, again, you have so many administrators on the administrative level participating in such corruption where they're giving all these administrators these high-ass salaries. And there's no money for the teachers. There's no money for upgrades in the educational infrastructure, meaning books, computers, shit like that. And when they do order computers, half of them come up stolen or missing. So shit like that, man, it's just the corruption in our educational system. But you go to one of these elite schools in Shreveport, you want to know how do you know the elite school in Shreveport? Those who are there preparing to be the next lawyers, the next politicians, doctors, they don't wear a uniform. That might sound crazy. But the use of uniform is a whole lot deeper and nefarious than one think on the surface. First of all, if you force all these children to wear the same uniform, you take away their sense of individuality. You take away that which makes them unique as a student, because now you have become another worker bee in the colony. Now, those students who are wearing uniforms are being prepared for your service industry or your prison industry. They're being taught this uniform identifies you with your position in life. But when you go to schools like Captain Street, Magnet, all the quote unquote again elite schools, shit, those kids come to school in motherfucking short pants and t-shirts if they wanted to, with house shoes, sandals, shit like that. They're being trained to be the motherfucking CEOs or people who are working over your children. This is really, that shit sounds crazy, but you gotta go back and understand the history of school uniform. Yeah, that's what it's about. It's not about making your children safe. How the fuck is wearing a uniform gonna make your children safe? It's not so much that some kid can wear $200 tennis shoes to school, $150 pants, all this. That shit really, that shit been happening, man. But the uniform is a way of indoctrinating subtly indoctrinating your children for a working station in life. Because the schools that are put like this, the schools that are failing in Shreveport, wear a motherfucking uniform. The schools that are producing and that are thriving, you know what I'm saying, when they take these standardized tests, they don't wear a uniform. And those kids in those places that don't wear a uniform, guess what? They got books for at home and school. Shit, the kids at our neighborhood, shit, they gotta get lessons ran off on the copy machine, and the teacher gotta print up all this paper and give them a copy of the shit. So that's a whole nother story in itself. But yeah, our educational system is corrupt. And again, until you tackle the administrative problem where they got so much corruption and giving themselves all these $100,000 salaries, $200,000 salaries, there ain't no money for the fucking teacher. Do you realize that it's real deep. It's deep how that shit goes. And again, at the risk of sounding like a conspiracy theorist, I tell y'all this shit, man. And people, no, that ain't what it is. It's so that this cat won't feel bad because he got holes in his pants. Man, that shit been happening again. But I mean, for 100 years, they never gave a fuck about that. So why now? Again, now you literally got these kids as fucking drones, worker bees, worker ants. You're taking away their sense of self-identity. You're taking away their that which makes them a unique individual by how they dress. How you dress is how you express yourself. And if their parents are too poor to provide them with clothes like other kids have, hey, that ain't the kid's fault, man. You need to talk to the parents, and solve some of the issues that causing the parents to be poor. It is what it is. But that's really the real reason behind uniform. Motherfucking uniform ain't stop one mass motherfucking shooting in these school hats. Uniform ain't stop our motherfucking kids from failing and underachieving in these school habits. The uniform ain't made none of these schools achieve higher on these standardized testing habits. No, uniform ain't nothing but a way to psychologically instill that inferior mentality to your children. Well, that turned out to be, that was pretty deep, man, but I ain't trying to be deep. Sometimes I get so deep, you need a motherfucking shell just dig it. But the truth is deep itself, man, because the truth is a foreign concept right now because we are being brainwashed and taught a whole bunch of lies to the point we would just rather hear this lie and go along with it because it doesn't make any waves. It doesn't cause us to have to make any kind of change or evaluate our situation. But when you hear the truth makes you motherfucking uncomfortable. Because in most cases, if you just now becoming aware of the truth, it means you've been fooled by a bunch of lies, which means now you got to make a change. You got to either make a change or stay the same. So again, why I do what I do here at the Real News Behind the News, I'm not saying that I'm right all the time, but I search diligently for the truth. And I know one goddamn thing, you're not finna find it on this mainstream media. Damn sure ain't finna find it on Facebook. Because Facebook, again, itself is a propaganda tool. YouTube, all this shit, propaganda tool used by the CIA because you gotta realize who owns Facebook, who owns YouTube, Bezos and Zuckerberg are CIA assets. They're really the face of these social media medium platforms, but the people behind it that really control Zuckerberg and Bezos are using these platforms to dumb you down. Again, like I said, look at your phone. You either got two types of phones here in America. You either got Android or the ISO, the iPhone. You gotta realize Steve Jobs, the one who created Microsoft and all these smart tech gadgets, said there's no way in the fuck he would even allow his children to use the very product that he himself invented. You know why? Because it takes away your ability to think. Android. Do you realize why they call it Android? Because it's a fucking robot designed to think for you and take away your ability to form a thought process. This is why you see our children killing each other the way they are, and a lot of us are dope. And a lot of people, they would try their best to discredit it. But the truth is, we are a product of the social media, of these smart weapons, smart products, because our phones are fucking smarter than us. Literally, what's happening with the children, they've been bombarded with this fuck-ass rap music, constantly seeing images of violence in these video games. Do you realize your video games, the video games that we and our children play, are the same motherfucking type of video games or that virtual game that they use to train motherfucking militaries around the world? Grand Theft Auto. Do you realize, think about it, my email address, let me put that email address in. Do you all realize that our children are fucking walking around here, living life like they're playing Grand Theft Auto? Literally. In our society, This shit is nothing but a big game of Grand Theft Auto. And again, it's because, let me give y'all this, send you this email address right quick, my brother. I'm gonna start making it public also. I'll give you a second. All right, that's the email address right there, my brother. But that's the whole thing about it, man. When you look at the shit that's going on, man, these kids are literally imitating what they're hearing. Remember how they say life imitates art? That's what's happening. Come on, think about it. It is now, that boy, NBA young boy, is facing all these federal charges. Our kids, and even a lot of these adults who are nothing more than fucking kids and grown up motherfucking bodies, they think that shit is cool. Oh, that's a real nigga, man. The Fed got it. Shit, that's some real shit, man. Man, that's the dumbest fucking shit. Because this nigga done made it out the motherfucking hood and still doing hood ass shit, bro. Come on, man. And we glorify that shit. Think about it. If he beat them charges, now he gonna go down as a legend. You see? And everybody, what was that? Sending me some shit. Anyway, everybody gonna look at that shit and glorifying the shit. And he's doing dumb motherfucking shit. And then when these rappers kill each other, man, people get on social media and, oh man, so sad, this and that. But when two niggas kill each other over a beef behind some pussy, you don't hear nothing about that. So we are living in a fucking fantasy, man. We're living life like it's one great big fucking video game, man. And that shit is crazy, dog. It's the literally crazy shit I ever saw, man. Nobody wants to admit to that. Nobody wants to admit to the fact that they're being led and guided by shit they see on TV, shit they hear in this music, shit they see on Facebook and social media. When none of this shit is real. It's false reality. Again, I always say this. A lot of people, some people disagree. We, as Black people in America, I'm going to say that I'm getting ready to end this show. We're the only people who do not have our original culture. They took that shit from us during slavery. They took away our religion, our languages. They took away all our traditions, our customs. They took all that shit away. And over the last 400 years, they taught us, indoctrinated, when Mike Stanford looked like that post, they have indoctrinated us with a self-hating, motherfucking, self-defeating, victim-type motherfucking culture. Literally, we have been given the most toxic culture on the planet because all we talk about is death. You know it's bad as Black people when we don't care that we can't get wholesome motherfucking TV sitcoms, but we will accept some shit like Power when they're talking about a bunch of homosexuals and fucking drug dealers. These are the type of shows that they give us, and we glorify that shit, man. And then we wonder why shit is so fucked up. This is the type of shit that we glorify. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, let me get ready to end this video, man. I thank y'all for joining us, man. I really do. Y'all share these videos, man, for us on your social media platform. Again, I use social media, man, just to say, you know, get my point of view. I used to be on Facebook every day, man. I'd be like, fuck Facebook, man. Because if there's nothing real serious to talk about, nothing positive to talk about, nothing that's educational or uplifting or inspirational to my people, man, I'm not going to get on that shit. Because that shit has a way of creating a false reality in our society. And you see that shit every day. So again, y'all, please, thank y'all for joining us. Hit the like button, hit the share button. If you can, please hit the cash out button. Help us keep this show going. But until y'all see me tomorrow, hopefully I'm gonna wake up in the morning. We're gonna do the show where I always talk about religion, but we might talk about something else. Just join us in the morning. Thank you for the message. Oh, my brother, you're more than welcome, man. Thank God for giving me the motivation to do it. You know what I'm saying? That's who gets all the credit, man. And I'm not doing nothing but what I feel my job And my calling is to be a light, man, in this world of darkness. Thank you, Brother Thompson. Thank you. I really do, man. And I really appreciate that. That's motivation. It gives me motivation to keep going, man. I apologize. The show could be a whole lot better. I have to develop more consistency. So y'all look for it. We still, our viewership is growing. So, and our numbers, subscribers is growing. So if I can just keep doing it consistency, I say a year from now, this show is going to be probably one of the most watched shows among people who look for the truth, among our people and our people. So again, that's what I hope for. That's what I pray for. So again, man, y'all hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe, share the video, and if you can, hit the cash up, just run it through the bottom. We sure could use. We gotta make $80 for the morning. That don't sound like shit before. Broke ass Negro like me. $80. That's a lot. So till y'all see me tomorrow morning, man. I hope y'all have a wonderful, best, and prosperous night. We're gonna go ahead and end this show, man. Y'all be blessed.